Now that we have formatted our report card, let's move on to the next step where we will dive into more advanced functionalities like pulling dynamic data and automating calculations. We'll be working with grades and comment sheets where we will enter some sample data and demonstrate functions like sum, average, mean, max to help calculate student performance. In order to save time, I entered here some sample data. As you see, we have some students here and with their corresponding years. And these are the numerical grades they get from these subjects, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to calculate the total given student got for all of these subjects. We will analyze the maximum grade a student get and minimum and the average of all of these grades. And let's start with sum. Okay, I will start by typing equal. And I will be using sum function here, a reference of the first cell, which is column D and row 2 here. So I will type D2. Because we are calculating a range, we need to put here column. Then enter the reference of the final cell, which is I2, and close the bracket. So let's hit enter. I can go ahead and do the same thing for this student sum. This time D3 column and I3. Hit enter. Next thing we need to learn is when you click on a cell where there's a formula which you can see here, okay? So if you copy this and paste it here, it will not copy the value itself, but it will copy the formula, okay? So as you see, this one was D3, I3. Click here, you will see that it is D4 and I4, which is the corresponding reference for this student. So this way, you can just copy once and paste all of them if you want to, like this, and it will automatically do the calculation for all of them. Another way to apply a formula to all of the cell is that you can click on the cell where you have the formula or function, and you will notice that there's a dot here, and when you hover on it, there will be a plus sign here, plus icon here. You can click on it and drag it all the way down here, and then it will apply the function to all of the cells. Now this time I want to calculate the maximum grade this student got from all of these subjects. I will again start with equal, and this time I will use max function. It's the same thing, D2 to I2. Okay, you see it actually understand that you want to apply the same thing to the rest. If you click on check, it will automatically apply this function to the end of the sheet. So we don't need this one. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it works. So here, for example, this student, the highest grade this student got is 5. And the highest grade this student got 6. Okay, so let's do the similar thing with minimum, but with a twist, okay? And this time I will do min. I am not going to type here the reference. I will simply click on it, okay? As you see, the moment that I click on it, it's entered here. Now what I'm going to do is I will drag it to all the way to the last one. And then did you notice that we have column here, and then the last cell was entered here, and I will close it, and that's it. Hitting enter, it will also ask me if I want to do the same thing for the rest. I will say yes. I will delete it. Finally, the average. In order to calculate the average, I will use average function, and I will do the same thing. Okay. Let me drag it right a little bit. Okay, so this time I will do copy and paste. I will do Control C, and I will select all the way down here. I will do Control V. You see, it's the same thing. At this point, let me show you one thing. And this is decimal, not the whole number. There are so many digits after dot. So what we can do is we can actually round it by decreasing decimal number. As you see here, as you click here, it will decrease the decimal. I'm going to make, yeah, I think 2 digits will be good after the dot. Now this time we're going to calculate the average of the English subject, average. Okay, I'm going to select all of these. Okay, so this is the average and I want to decrease it. Okay, and I want to center it. As you remember, we dragged this down to apply all of the functionality here. We can actually do it here as well. Okay, so you see we have a dot here, and I want to calculate the average of these subjects as well. What I'm going to do is I will drag it to the right here. You see we have calculated the average of these subjects. And similarly, I can calculate the maximum grade taken by any student in English. So it was 6, and I can drag it to the right. For all of the subjects, the maximum grade was 6. Let's do minimum. Now that we have used these functions to calculate total averages and the highest and lowest grades, let's move on to linking this data between different sheets using more advanced functions like import range. So let's get rid of this dummy data here, okay? We will work with actual data, okay? In order to do that, we will create another file. You know, this is our dynamic report card file, and we're going to create a new Google Sheet file, and which we will call grades and comments. So this is the file where our teachers will enter actual data, and here in this report card sheets, all the data will be important from here. In this file, we'll have sheets like config, and we will have students, just like the report card file, okay? Comments, grades, what else? Comment and behavior. Let's start with the config sheet, okay? So this is the place where we will have all the basic information for our report card, such as schools names, subject names, class teachers, and everything. I don't want to make video long, so I will just simply copy and paste what I prepared earlier. Let's drag it right so that it fits here. So this part shows the grading structure. In this school, there are multiple grading ways. The first part is descriptive grading, like exceeding, proficient, etc. And second one, they also use Cambridge letter grade as well. There are number grading from 6 to 1. And also this column shows the behavior grading. And here is the place we have such as school's name, academic year, and head teacher's information, which will go to report card. And these are the subjects which will appear in the report card. Finally, by the way, when you double click here, it will automatically extend the column to fit the text here. So these are the grades, classes we have, and these are the class teachers which will be in the report card. In this section, we're going to set up a student database sheet which will serve as a master list of all the students, their classes, and other essential details. This database will link to our report card and other sheets, making it easy to retrieve student information dynamically. Okay, let's start by adding column names, students, classes, and gender. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste my student database that I prepared earlier. Of course, these are dummy values, not real. So yeah. Okay, so this is my student database, and what I'm going to do is I will number them 1, 2, 3. So it will take ages, especially when you have a lot of students here. So what I'm going to do is I will show you a quick trick here. So I will enter the first two values, which will indicate that the number will increment by 1. Okay, so 1 and 2. So as you see, there is this dot here, and then when I hover over it, there will be a plus symbol, and I will click on it and drag all the way down to the end of my list. So it automatically copied, incrementing by 1. And if let's go back, and by the way, let me show you something. If I didn't do 2 cells, and if I selected only 1 cell, it would copy exact same value. That's why I put here 2 values and then select them and drag it all the way down here. So next I'm going to make headers, select headers and make them bold. And also when I scroll down, you see the header is gone. Okay, I want it to be frozen here. In order to do that, and you can select, this is the first row, and then row 1, clicking here, and then go to view, freeze, and then row 1. So this way it will be always at the top of the page. We have now entered basic information for student. Next thing we need to do is we will apply a data validation for the gender column. So using data validation will ensure that when we enter or update gender information, we stick to consistent options like male or female without any typos or other variations. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will select this cells here. Okay, so here I want users to be able to choose only male or female. So in order to that, we'll go to data and then click data validation and add a rule. And here you will see that there's a drop down automatically selected, and the information entered here, we have only male, female and male, they are selected. If you want to add any other option, for example, you could simply add another item and you would add it. In this case, we don't need it. And click done. And now here, as you see, I can select only male or female. It will not allow me to enter different information. And I'm going to apply data validation for classes as well, but this will be slightly different. Again, let me select them here. And now I will go to... Similarly, I will add data validation for classes as well. So we have year 5 to year 9, but I will make it slightly different. What I'm going to do is, again, I will go to data and data validation, add a rule. And here, instead of selecting drop down, I will select drop down from range. As you remember, in the config file, we already have the classes here. And what I'm going to do is, again, I will click here, and then here, I'm going to select the ranges, okay? Okay, so now I will click done, and going back here, again, we have drop down icons here. As you see, it's from year 5 up to year 9. Options are from up to year 9. What if I add another class here? Let's say I add 3 more classes here. Let's go back here. This time dynamically those classes are added. So the difference between these two is that this one is fixed, okay, just male or female, okay, or you can add manually another one, but this one for classes, it's from a range, so it dynamically comes from config file. We have now created a basic student database that holds key information for each student: name, classes, gender. This sheet will link to our other sheets such as report card, ensuring that we can easily retrieve and update student data across the entire project. And that's it. Whether you are a teacher looking to streamline your grading or just someone wanting to learn more about power of Google Sheets, this method is a game changer. Feel free to use this system in your own workflow, and don't forget to check the template link in the description if you would like to get started right away. If this tutorial helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth Google Sheets tutorials and productivity tips. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.